The fund layering problem. Hi, I'm Scott Hamilton, certified financial planner, fee only fiduciary, and we help people retire in Austin and in Houston, and we help people retire efficiently, tax efficiently. So the question is what is the fund layering problem? And the answer is, well, it's really a target date fund. But first, let's talk about what target date funds are. So let's assume you go to work for a firm and they have a retirement program for you. It's a 401k typically, and they have several different investment options. They want to have something that's generic, that's for everybody, and then maybe a few specialized unique niches, because there's all kinds of people that work there, some very sophisticated people, very specifically with specific needs, and then a generic broad based need. And one of the easiest, simplest way to invest your money, not necessarily the best, but is a target date fund. So we've picked out three of these. The T. Rowe Price Retirement Fund 2045, the Fidelity Investments Retirement Fund 2045, and the Vanguard Retirement Fund 2045. Now, what these are is they're funds of funds. And as you age, they increase the portion to bonds or to cash. So that in theory, when you start, and let's say we're going to measure it over, say, a 20-year period. So 2027 out 20 years. And you start with a high rate of equities and a smaller portion of bonds. And then over the years, they increase the bonds and decrease the equities, which has the effect of reducing the variability, the risk of this individual portfolio. However, because several fund companies out there use other funds for their fund-to-fund families, you end up with duplication, admin fees, and multiple expenses. It's simple and easy, but it's not necessarily cost effective. You end up with sometimes, for example, we don't really recommend fund-to-funds, retirement date funds, because they typically are higher cost. You can do things better sometimes with just a simple index fund. And to give you an example of the fees, over, let's say, a lifetime, 20 years of one of these retirement funds, the T. Rowe Price Fund, the cumulative costs, you know what I mean when I say cost, it's, if you invest in a ETF, right, they have operating expenses, and they literally just reduce the return based on these operating expenses. It's accounting, marketing, bookkeeping, their offices. And over the decades, these prices have really come down. So they're very price effective now. But it still makes a difference. T. Rowe Price 2045, over 20 years, $1,337, $1,337 versus Fidelity, $845. And of course, Vanguard, the low cost leader, because they use their own funds, their fund-to-fund families, so it's $103. It's simple, it's easy, but you end up with a layering problem that increases your cost. It causes duplication, and it's just not effective, not as efficient as it could be. So what's the solution? What should you do? Well, number one, you should read the prospectus. It's dry, it's boring, but you'll get a feel for what the costs are, for what the funds are, what the objectives are. So always read the prospectus. Also, talk to a financial advisor. So that's a high-level comment about fund layering problem. So thank you for taking the time to watch. What we've done to help out future retirees is we've created a little brochure here about 8 ways that you can plan for retirement. You can reach your retirement number, and it's very detailed. We spent a lot of time. It's a high quality brochure. So please click the link below, and we'll send you a free copy. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Appreciate your time. Thank you.